goes that idea. Okay, so we'll just set ourselves up nicely here and wait for hopefully some people to turn up, maybe, and see how we go from there. Do excuse. There we go. So, we'll just wait for a little bit and sip on some tea, excuse the hair, and see if anybody turns up. And if nobody does, then you guys get to see it all in the playback, and we can go from there. So, yeah. A cup of tea. So, while I'm here, I've got to look something up. Let's see where we're at. Let me see. Just go to my little spreadsheet. Oh, somebody's turned up. I don't know who that is. I can't see who it is. But somebody's there. Hello? So, let's have a look here. Let's have a look. Where are we? So it's 97 weeks. My goodness me. So let's begin, shall we? Whoever has turned up, I can't actually see who is there. But whoever you are, hello and welcome. Welcome to the house that is mad. You're mad too, because you're watching me live and unplugged, if you're here. Oh, we got 2 people. Hi. I just fancy doing something a little bit different tonight. I've been busy. I have been transferring my mother's stuff like crazy. So, yeah, I've been very busy doing that. And everything I use is in here. So, here's the Sony Professional that I use to transfer things. And this is the pièce de résistance. This is the microphone. It still works. My son and I tested this week. This is the microphone that while we were here in Australia, that my mother was my dad plugged it in here into this, and this is what we used to record mother with. And it still works. I mean, it's a bit dicey, but it still works. It still works. So yes, welcome to the house that is mad. Meet music and everything else in between. It's all the things. It's everything. And got a lot to discuss. And, well, not a lot, but I do want to share with you where I was in the last few weeks. It's not been great for me emotionally. I was in a very, very dark place. And I basically went, oh wow, I blinked and there's now 16 people watching. Well, oh, and look at that. You're saying hello. Hello, Alyssa. Hello, Bella and Jada's Gaming. Hello. Nice to see you guys. Say hello. I can see you talking, so say hello and say stuff to me. So, all right. I think something went click in my mind when I did that last video of my trip to Sydney. It sort of brought things to a conclusion. And it sent me into a bit of a tailspin. It really did. And the tailspin, you know, like you're sort of, you know, going along, say like you're on a bike, okay? You're on a bike, you're riding along, and everything's lovely, everything's wonderful, you're looking at a lovely day, and everything's bright and sunny, and then you kind of miss the rock that's on the floor, and boom, and you go over the handlebars. Yeah, that's what I kind of did emotionally. You know, oh, and my son's here, spying, he's right there. Come and say hello. This is my youngest son. I don't normally do videos with anybody here. This is Stranger Places, if you see him. Liveception. There you go. Off you go.
I'm stream sniping IRL.
This is my share. I'm the diva here. Call Reuters. Anyway, so what actually happened was that, you know, emotionally I hit the rock in the road, and it sent me flinging emotionally over the handlebars. Sadly, it sent me into that deep, dark pit of, we have cookies. You know that place? I've been talking about it now for 97 weeks. It was not nice being down there again. I'm not going to lie to you. It really was hard. So, you know, a lot of people could look at the relationship that I had with my mother as being codependent. And I get that. I can see how it would appear that way. But I need to make sure that people understand that it is about as far removed from that as you could possibly imagine. My mother was not just my mother, she was my best friend. And she made me feel seen. She made me feel loved. Her light was very bright and very warm, but not blinding and scolding. And I guess in a way, I kind of struggled with who am I without her? And you put that together with the trip to Sydney coming to an end with the montage that I presented to you guys. I was faced with, what do I do now? How can I be the person that I am in an opera world which, oh, my son's a naughty boy. Very naughty boy. Thank you, darling. How do I get to be the person that I am without the warmth that my mother provided? And then it was also a case of I went further and further and further. Now, you know, I'm not one for talking about religion. I don't like doing it publicly. I play those cards very close to my chest. Very close. Very, very close. I have said that I do believe in something bigger than me and us. There has to be something bigger than us running this lot. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to do that. So, yeah, I just found myself in a place where I was thinking, if the science world, if you like, came back to me with absolute proof that when we die, there is nothing, I don't quite know how I would cope. I thought to myself, if my reward for life is to, when my time comes, is to be with my mum and dad, my loved ones, all the pets we've ever had, if that's my reward, that's a pretty darn good reward. But the thought that there would be nothing would make things almost unbearable. And that just really, really got under my skin, and it really upset me. And it's a case of finding my own identity without my mother around, within that opera community and just generally around me. And it's like, it was really, really difficult. And I just could not talk about it then. I had to get out. And you see, the thing is, that dark pit, I was in there for a very, very long time when Mum died. It was me that found her. She died at home. And that is a massive trauma for anyone to go through. Anyone. And it stays with you. And I just didn't know how I would cope if there was nothing after we die. Like I said, if my reward for life is that I get to dwell in the house of the Lord with my loved ones and my mother for all eternity, I would consider that the greatest payoff. I really would. I really would. I already know what my father would say. He'd just say, took you long enough, and then he'd just go off to the heavenly pub in the sky. But that's my father. But that's where I was. And it also left me feeling, okay, so if I'm going to be my own identity and I'm going to be the person that I am away from the light that my mother provided, then there are certain things that I'm not willing to put up with anymore. Certain things that people say to me, I'm like, no. We don't get to phrase things in those ways anymore with me, because it almost comes across as disrespectful, and I'm not putting up with that anymore. And that is me protecting my peace and my own self-respect. That is the abridged version of what it was, but it lasted for 5 days. Now, like I said, when Mum died, I was in that dark pit for the better part of 23 years. Now, when I went down there for 5 days, I stayed long enough to do the emotional work. And once I was comfortable with the work that I had done, I got out. I just stayed long enough to do the work, to face the fears, to face the pain, to face the heartache, and then I got out. Excuse the notifications in the background. I got out. Was not easy. It was not easy. There is no way in this week. There are things that I am reevaluating and how I go forward. My lifestyle health journey is ongoing and is likely going to be an ongoing battle for the rest of my life. And I have to know what that looks like for me from this point on. And it has to be sustainable for me. Everybody has different levels of what they can do. And being a full-blown carnivore is getting really, really difficult. It is a home base, obviously, and I've said that many times before, but it's becoming increasingly difficult for me to sustain that. I don't get the inflammations that a lot of people get, and the value of carnivore or even lion diet is the way to go. And when that's all you've got, then you just have to buckle down. But I need flavor. I need sauces. I need flavor. I need crunch. So like I said, there is some research that I'm doing in the background to figure out what is going to work for me, because it's me that has to do it. It's like, for instance, the conversations we had with Mum. Mum would say, well, I don't know what that bloody conductor's doing and telling me to do this and telling me to do that. And my dad would say the same thing every single time. Rita, at the end of the day, you're the one that's got to get up on that stage and sing it. You're the one that has to do the work. So you've got to do what is right for you. And that's where I am. That's where I am. I've got a birthday coming up at the end of the month. I've got a lot of trips to Sydney next year. There are certain things that I want to get for myself. And one of those things is a motorized wheelchair. Until I get my legs back, that is going to be the best way for me to have a life. The end game is always going to be walk on my own two legs. That's the end game. But until then, I've done a lot of damage to my body, and some of it I don't think can be fixed by just meat alone. Not me. But that's me. It works for a lot of people, obviously. Here we are. The carnivore community is like, woo, you know, you can't deny the results. But for me, you know, I'm not somebody that's only got 30 pounds to lose. I've got a lot of weight to lose, and I don't think I can just go strictly carnivore for the rest of my life. I without the vegetables, even though we know, like, there's no way I'm going to add spinach into the mix ever again. Oi, no way. That's just not going to happen. But I have to be able to give myself some grace and go from a point where it's going to work for me for the rest of my life. Because, you know, one of the things that, and to everybody that's here, oh my God, I'm seeing quite, my goodness me, all these people saying, your hair looks pretty. Shall I take it out? I'll take my hair out. Hang on. I mean, I haven't brushed it today, but I'll take the hair out. There we go. It needs to be cut. Oh, mad hair. But there's the hair. I'm not going anywhere with this channel because regardless, it's a health journey. And I want you to see the sort of life that I want for myself. And it's, oh, you're not wrong. It's amazing what a good hot dog can do for your mood. Not wrong. You know, and that's what it's about. It doesn't matter what you do, as long as you're headed in the right direction and that it works for you. You know, whether that looks like just low carb, keto, ketovore, carnivore, lion, whatever that looks like for you. Like, you know, across the board of those genres of eating, there is one theme, and that is carbs. And that's the thing. It's the carbs that are, you know, if you're very active, I'm not, but if you're very active, you could probably go on low carb. You know, if you do a little bit of activity, you could probably go keto. I've been carnivore, and that has worked, but it's stopped. And it's been stopped for a while, and it's been teeter. I'm like, no, it needs to be hit in the butt. And so I need to find something that's going to work for me, that has me coming out swinging. And then hopefully we're going to see some serious business up in these here parts. I'm still working all of that out. I know that you guys are going to support me whatever I choose to do. I know that. If that means that I'm going to be, if that means that I'm going to be introducing some vegetables into my life, then so be it. If that means that I'm going to be introducing bulletproof coffees into my life again, then that's what I'm going to do. I do have a problem with eating sticks of butter. I can't do it. I've tried, and it's hard, and it's got me to a point now where doing that again, I can't do it anymore. I've had that many eggs, I can't face them anymore. I'm getting to that point with mincemeat. It's driving me crazy. Steaks are driving me crazy. As it is, I'm going to have to bake them because I can't even cook them in butter anymore because I cannot stand the taste. And I don't want to go off those foods. So I need to find something that's going to get me through this. So whatever that looks like, obviously I'm going to keep you posted. So let me see, Haley, what have you said? Insulin is the key. Monitor your glucose. Try other foods to see how it affects your blood sugar. First, heal insulin resistance. Just my 2 cents worth. Good luck. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's a case of finding out what works for you. Okay? I know there's a lot of carnivore purists that'll go, oh, poo-poo, poo-poo, poo, poo-poo, ooh, poo-poo, keto, poo-poo. Whatever. It's my health journey. And I've got to take these steps, and I've got to do those things myself, you know. It's not easy. This battle of the bulge really is exactly that. It's a battle of the bulge, and it's hard work. The emotional stuff is like, if you put on top of that, the fact that you could, I mean, right now, if I could just sit there with a great, I hate to gross you out, folks, okay, but I'm going to go for it. Do I drink alcohol? No, I don't. I did so much of that in my teens, nightclubbing and all. I don't feel the need for it anymore. It's very rare. It's very rare. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a case of finding what works for you, you know. It's not easy. And, you know, you have all these channels saying, I'm just keeping it real. I really am keeping it real. I'm keeping it so real that because of what I went through last week, I went off plan. Yep. I'm keeping it real because I want to be honest with you. And if that loses me subscribers, then okay. But I'm not about to sit here and, as they say, blow wind up your skirt. I'm just not going to do that. I refuse to do that. That's not how I roll in this shire. The fact that I have the undaunting support of my family means everything to me. Paddy, we're here to support you. Sometimes we run off the track, but we love your honesty. Thank you. That means an awful lot. And it takes courage to be that honest, because Paddy, you can probably understand that some people would go, oh, you know, oh, she's going off the tracks. Oh, she's gone off plan. Oh, damn. Something that, you know, early on when I started carnivore, I saw a video that Dr. Berry did, and he said, everybody cheats. Everybody goes off the tracks. Everybody cheats. And I was new into carnivore. I was like gun-ho and like, oh, but I don't. I don't cheat. And up until that point, I hadn't. But he's right. And I'm wondering how many carnivores there are saying, oh, yeah, it's easy. Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, just eat the meat. You know, just eat the meat and you're fine. How many of them have gone off the tracks and not said anything? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So, yeah, I mean, yes, that's definitely a thing. Lovely auto race. Losing weight does actually help with your health. Obviously, it's bound to. It's bound to. You know, it's bound to make things better. But I'm at a point where I want to really sort this out. On the weekend, I'm going to be going to have a neck massage. My husband and I, we're going for a couples massage because they have a big room with 2 tables. He's going to get his shoulder done. I'm going to get my neck sorted out. So hopefully we can get to the bottom of this darn dizziness and find out if we can fix that. You know, I know that hydrotherapy, for instance, would be a great thing, but, you know, need to lose a little bit more weight before I can do that kind of thing. I would really love to get a motorized wheelchair. It'll make, yeah, lightning in the background. The weather up here in Brisbane is berserk. And by all accounts, I spoke to Adrian today, and he's getting down in Sydney the same sort of crazy weather. It's like, what? Mother Nature's just not happy. So there is a motorized wheelchair that I really would love to get. And like I said earlier on, the end game, because I don't know if you know, but do you support LGBTQ? Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course I support them. I love them all. You got to bear in mind the world I was brought up in, my love. I was brought up in the world of the arts, where a good deal of the people that go to operas are my beloved opera queens and everything else in between. I'm binge watching RuPaul's Drag Race. Would love to have a Drag Race makeover. Absolutely. I definitely support everyone's right to love who they want to love. Absolutely. So I hope that answers your question, my darling. Yeah, I'm all here for it. I mean, I was out here in the 80s when the Mardi Gras was like just one float, and so many icons who have now long passed fought tooth and nail for that flag. And I saw all that, and I've got mad respect for the LGBTQ family. I really do. I really do. So I hope that answers that, my darling. I really do. But yes, consider the world I was brought up in. Think about it now. So I have started a GoFundMe, and I will release that in the next few days. I will say this, if I haven't said it already, I will say it again and a million more times. There is no obligation. I'm just merely going to give the avenue by which, if you do want to help towards me getting, I wonder about the wheelchair, I don't, if your goal is to walk painlessly and better, isn't staying on your feet the best idea to strengthen them? Okay, quit butting in now. You're all good, darling. Look, the end game is to use my own 2 feet. Absolutely. But I do believe that because the back is just all, I think I need to get some therapy. I need to get like hydrotherapy. I need to lose more weight. Hydrotherapy, get my neck sorted out, get rid of the dizzies. It's all a thing. The aim is not to keep the motorized wheelchair. The aim is to have my own 2 feet back again, and maybe either sell it on to somebody who really does need it, or donate it to the likes of the Queensland Performing Arts Centre, who work tirelessly to help people with mobility issues actually get in to go to the theatre. The aim is not to have it for the rest of my life. The aim is to be able to do these things on my own 2 feet. But there are things I've got to do first. There are things that I've got to do first. So I will release the GoFundMe in the next few days. Again, no obligation, none whatsoever. But if you can help, that would be great. That would be great. So I think we might have a slurp of tea. Okay, so I'm going to throw it out to you. I've had me ramble. Anything you want to ask me? Open book. Go for it. Is there anything you want to ask me? Go. Go. Cup of tea. Are any of you typing? Hardest part about the diet. The hardest part about the diet is possibly feeling like you're missing out. Have I tried keto? Yes. Many years ago. And boy, did it work. So that is what I'm looking into. Keto, ketovore. That's what I'm looking into. You hit the nail on the head, my dear. Hello, Tilly Togs. Yes, I have tried keto, and boy, does it work. My sleeping pattern, Paddy, is not too bad. I sleep. I have a CPAP machine. Do it again. It does work. Yes, I know it does, Tilly. Oh, yeah. The sleep is not too bad. The sleep is not too bad. I do sleep. I do find that, recently I'm not waking up as much during the night. I was using a chin strap thing because my mouth was opening and it sort of sounded like you got a hissing snake in the room. I've recently stopped using that because, you wake up, you've got that around your head, and then you've got your CPAP mask, and I've got the eye mask with the earbuds in to drown out the snoring from my husband. And it's a lot. I'm able to sleep with it. But, I've taken off because, I woke up a couple of mornings ago. I'm like, oh, my headache. Ugh. So that's it. I'm not wearing that anymore. Bye-bye. So the sleep is not too bad. It's pretty good. It's okay. When I do sleep, it's a decent sleep. So what's that? Josephine. Oh, okay. I've got a few. Do you have a nice pic of you and your mama, Rita? You could send me. I would love to paint you too. Oh, I would love that. I've got a few. Actually, I've got a few. So let me see. I hope you've got my email address. I'll put a pinned comment below. I'll give you an email address. When you've got the email address, send the email to me and I will send you some pickies. All right, Josephine? Not a problem. Yeah, I'm very conscious of the sleep situation because, you've got to bring those cortisol levels down. You've got to have a rest. You've got to have a rest. Do I keep a track on how much I walk every day? Josephine, I have this. Not that I'm paying attention to it, but I am mindful of how much I do move. It is a struggle. I'm not going to lie to you. It is a struggle. And I'm just wondering now, many years ago, when we were in the old house in Sydney, I fell over. I fell backwards and I hit the back of my head. And I'm just wondering how much of the dizziness and the leg situation and how much of my lack of mobility is stemmed from that fall. So, yeah, so I'll be looking into that. So I've been waiting to ask you for... Well, we'll sort that out soon. All right, Josephine? Not a problem. So has anybody else got any questions? I'll have another sip of tea while you're typing away. Okay, so Tilly, yeah, I'm 70. Wow. You go. And lost 3 stone on keto. That, good for you. Also use CPAP, but it makes me feel worse, so not using it anymore. I wish I could not use it, but unfortunately, I snore. I snore like a sewing machine, a traction engine, and a cappuccino maker. As loud. I could actually shame my own husband in the snoring department. And then I wake up with that soreness at the back of the sinuses, and then that just turns into a cold, straight up. And I'm like, no. If you could choose one thing about carnivore, says my son, what would it be? I hope I'm going to get this answer correct. I would like to make sure that obviously I still keep the meat in my diet, as much meat as I need, with the addition of some veggies. I'm just saying. I need more food. So, yeah, that I think that's about. I snore really bad, but luckily, live a lot. Oh, Tilly, darling. Well, I think I'm going to call it a day, and I'm going to ask you people to be kind to those around you, protect your peace, don't take any crap, and be kind to yourself. That's the hard bit. That's the hard. And my son's there. Being kind to yourself is really hard.
Can't love others if you don't love yourself.
That's right. That's what RuPaul says at the end of every episode. If you can't love yourself, how the heck are you going to love somebody else? And he says, can I get an amen? And after every episode, I go, amen. So the last part is you are loved. Oh boy, are you loved. you are appreciated. And contrary to what you may think, you are enough. I love you guys so very, very much. Until next week. Hi-oh to ho. Now I've got to figure out how to stop this darn thing. Where's the stop button?